fortunate to be selected as a full scholarship recipient for the HPAIR Harvard Conference 2025. And in this video, I want to speak directly to those of you who are thinking about applying but are hesitant. You deserve a transparent guide. So I want to address everything very honestly. What HPAIR really looks for, how competitive it is, how I personally approached my essays, what the scholarship committee actually evaluates, or at least what I think they evaluate, and what the HPAIR experience truly feels like. Hi, I'm Vishwam Bagrodia. I study economics and computer science engineering, and I work at the intersection of technology and applied finance. I co-founded Meerahi VR, a venture that uses virtual reality to enhance the accessibility and effectiveness of mental wellness tools. I've also had the privilege of leading teams in communities. So let's begin with what most people, I think, actually get wrong. HPAIR is only for toppers, Ivy League kids, Olympiad medalists. No, it's not. And I'm actually proof of that. You do not need a perfect resume to get into HPAIR. You do not need a foreign degree or connections. You just need clarity of purpose. HPAIR is not evaluating where you're coming from. It's actually evaluating where you're headed. An ideal applicant looks like, according to me, would be someone who takes initiative, someone who solves problems instead of just admiring them, someone who has a story and is not afraid to tell it with clarity and humility. Their impact doesn't have to be massive, but they have to be real. In my application, I didn't pretend to be exceptional. I didn't try to sound like a superhero who's accomplished everything. No. Instead, I was honest. I spoke about meaningful work I have built brick by brick. Like when I led an international science initiative during my role in the Department of External Affairs back in my college, where we expanded a student Olympiad to a massive participation across countries. Not because I was the smartest person in the room, no, but because I was willing to solve problems, build partnerships, and lead through persistence. I wasn't selling perfection. I was demonstrating direction. And that is what HPAIR looks for. Not polish, but purpose. Not titles, but the truth. Now, let's talk about the competitiveness because, yes, HPAIR is selective. Thousands apply from all around the world. And let me actually walk you through what the selection process really is. So there are three stages to it. The first stage is the application form, which includes your resume and your essay type responses. Stage two is the interview. It's a general conversation of your just to understand what your worldview is, your curiosity, and the substance behind what you do, right? And the third is an additional scholarship interview if you apply for the funding support, that is. But let me actually give you the truth. The selection isn't random, at least from what I have observed. There is a pattern among the selected applicants: clarity, structure, and sincerity. The people who get rejected often do not have, weaker profiles, but they have weaker expression. They fail to communicate their ideas, their stories in a way that shows direction. And that's where I think the essays either make or break an application. So, how did I approach my HPAIR essays? I didn't overthink them. No, I structured them. I used a simple but a powerful framework: problem, action, impact, and reflection. For every answer, I made sure I addressed what challenge did I care about? What did I actually do? What changed because of it? And what did I learn? Well, not necessarily in that flow always, but my answers always well rounded these 4 points. And I think this personally, I think prevents your answers from becoming another resume paragraph. It actually turns into a story, into a narrative. The reflection bit of the answer I feel is critical because HPAIR isn't just interested in what you've done, but who you are becoming because of what you've done. Reflection shows maturity, it shows depth, it shows growth. Most common question I get is, how did you get the full scholarship? And I want to be fully honest here. I didn't get the scholarship because my profile was the strongest. I actually got it because I think my intent was clear. Most people misunderstand how these scholarships work. They think funding decisions are based on pity or perfection. They're not. No, they're actually based on purpose. The committee wants to know why you are worth investing in, not for your benefit alone, but for the impact you will multiply once you attend the conference. I didn't use my scholarship application to complain about, my financial need or talk emotionally about hardships. Instead, I wrote with dignity. I simply explained that I came from a background where opportunities were earned, not just handed out, and support would help me grow work that serves others. I didn't want a scholarship just to attend HPAIR or to have like a nice US trip. I wanted it because I had work to do after HPAIR. That's what many people ignore. Don't write your scholarship essay if you're asking for a favor. Don't sit for your interviews like you're asking for a favor. Do it as if you understand the responsibility. Ask yourself, what mission are you working on? The world benefit if you get this opportunity, and what you will actually do after HPAIR, not just there. When I showed them I had answers, my story became clear. My story became fundable. Achievements alone. It was built on perspective shifts. In my scholarship essay, I'd share one such moment. Earlier in my work, I used to believe that technology could alone solve everything, especially in mental health. But during conversations with real people struggling with mental pressure, I learned that solution must begin with empathy, not algorithms. That moment changed how I build. It grounded me. It changed the way I felt things. And I shared that, honestly. Because here's something I learned: HPAI doesn't select you for being polished, it selects you for being real, evolving, and aware. That awareness itself is the leadership. Let me tell you what HPAI actually feels like once you get there, once you're there in Boston, in Harvard, because nobody prepares you for that. People think it's just another conference, it's just another um, meeting. It isn't. It's actually a collision of minds. It's energetic, it's curious, ambitious young leaders from across the world. On day one, you realize nobody there is present to impress you. No, they're trying to understand you. People don't ask what you do, they ask why do you do it. And I think that's the best part about being in a room full of such people. At HPAIR, you'll meet people building climate solutions in Africa to different tech systems in Singapore, biotechnology solutions in Europe. You'll find people coming in from all different places, and you'll find something magical. You're not alone in wanting to build a better world. That feeling changes you. What I gained wasn't just knowledge, it was perspective. HPI makes you rethink what's possible when ambition is mixed with purpose. It gives you access not just to a network, but to a community of builders, people who may one day be your partner, your co founders, your policy collaborators, or I was fortunate enough, lifelong friends. And let me say this, it's not the conference that changes you, it's these conversations. Looking back, I'm grateful I applied, even though I doubted myself, because HPAIR didn't just validate my journey, it expanded it. It gave me momentum, clarity, and belief. And if you're someone who's passionate about solving problems, even if your journey is still small or early, this is the place where you belong. Before I close, I want to speak to a specific kind of person, maybe someone like you, someone who has a dream but also has doubts, someone who has ambition but also battles comparison, someone who works hard but isn't sure if it's enough. Maybe you've looked at opportunities like HPAIR and said to yourself, I'll apply next year, I'm not ready yet. Or what if I'm not good enough? What if they reject me? If that voice lives in you, I understand it because it's lived in me too. And here's what I've learned: rejection doesn't come from the committee, rejection first comes from inside us. Most people lose because they not because they weren't capable, they lose because they never tried. And let me put it simply, please do not self reject. Your background doesn't define you. Your school doesn't confine you. No, your current stage does not limit your future. The world does not belong to the most privileged. It belongs to the ones who show up. HPAIR is not looking for perfect people. It is looking for people, motion, builders, thinkers, problem solvers, community shapers, people who care. If there is something you want to work on, if there is something you care about, if there is something in this world you want to change, then you should apply. Because if you wait for the right moment, you may wait your entire life. Courage is simply deciding that now is good enough to begin. Thank you for listening to my journey. And if you're planning to apply to HPAIR, please feel free to reach out for any doubts or questions. You can drop your questions in the comments. You can just connect with me in LinkedIn on LinkedIn, and I would be more than happy to get back to you.